jab, uppercut, leave you laid out on the floor. Try to duck and roll, hit and miss, now you counting stars. Should've practiced more, should've hit the mask, get out there more. Man, that you're the best. You gotta show me, son. Actions over words, baby boy. Is you real or what? Talking way too much, world come. Back sports, talking way too much, world come. Back sports, talking way too much, world come. Back sports,
Once again, you tuned in to World Combat Sports. Salute to everyone and special salute to the supporters, the ones who tune into the channel each and every day. Man, you in the building. If you feel like it, hit the like button. You know what I'm saying? Drop your comments and we're going to get right down to it. I'm going to give it time to build up first, before I get on my hot topic. You know what I'm saying? We got another one that's popping off. I want to talk about, first of all, don't think I don't see people putting up the same thumbnail, talking about this. It's been out for a minute. I looked around. I said, okay, nobody mentioned this dang hot boxing shit right quick with Jermall Charlo. So let me go ahead and post a live. And I did that shit 3 hours later for a reason. I just want to see how many other people talk about it. Wouldn't you know? Easter egg hunting, goddammit. People out here talking about the dang. Hey, I ain't mad at you. You know what I'm saying? But when I looked out there initially, I did not see, or my eyes did not provide me any intel that this was being spoken on like this. But anyway, the one and only legend himself, Mike Tyson, hot boxing, invited guests, one half of the Charlo twins, Jermall Charlo, who is the current reigning defending WBC middleweight world champion. He invited him into the Hot Boxing podcast. All right. Now, granted, this is in the aftermath of young Mell being on Brian Custard, I guess for a second time, And that interview was quite different because Brian Custard is different than Mike Tyson. And then, he allowed Mell to pretty much drive himself. It was on autopilot when he was over there giving that interview. Brian Custard barely said anything. He was pretty much just a chauffeur that night. You know what I'm saying? And Jermell was just able to speak as he saw fit. You know what I'm saying? It was one of those autopilot type interviews. Not with Mike Tyson. Man, you know who Mike Tyson is. You know what it is with him. Mike Tyson had the toad. Mike Tyson had the toad. The marijuana strand on there, the toad on deck. Mike Tyson, man. He's dressed in a suit. He's the only one, that's in there with a suit on. And the craziest one, you know what I'm saying? He sat down with Jermall Charlo and Paul Pierce. Paul Pierce is trying to gradually work himself into the arena of basketball via media take and point of views and reporting. He still has a lot of work. You know what I'm saying? He still has a lot of work. For one, boxing is not a team sport. One person contends and competes. You know what I'm saying? So it's much different than team play of basketball. Paul Pierce is somehow he's with the culture though. You know, a lot of I wouldn't say a lot of people, but some people allow him to be in the living room. You know, I guess he's trying to get his, interviewing etiquette up so he can talk to boxers and shit like that. Because I seen him at another fight, a presser. It was a presser where he was up there with Andre Berto and some other faces, Teofimo Lopez and so forth. It was the presser, I believe, with Teofimo and George Kambosos. So he's trying. You know what I'm saying? I don't knock the man for trying. You know what I'm saying? He's up there trying. Andrew Charles on deck. What's good with you, bro? Salute to you, man. Good to have you on this podcast once again, man, in the building. So of course I have some sound bites that I want you to listen to. And also I want to reference a another stream that was up for shout out to Ikey TV. He did a video and he was talking about the Showtime schedule. And it's pretty much Brian Custer and Steven Espinosa that was on the podcast, and they turned it over to media. And a question was asked about Errol Spence and Terrence Crawford. So we're going to get to that a little bit later. But what I wanted to talk about was different parts of this interview that just didn't match up to me. You know what I'm saying? The way I cover boxing, the way I see some of these guys, the way they talk, I just wasn't getting that energy, man. It was just like, You know what I'm saying? It was just like the job force, the workforce during the pandemic. Shit was empty. Some moments was on point. There was a full house in there. People was cheering, clapping. And then others, you know what I'm saying? It wasn't nobody. You know what I'm saying? The lights were off. The bill wasn't paid. You know what I'm saying? It just wasn't any type of energy which I thought. And then, you think of Jermall Charlo, he's much more calm, cool, relaxed. Bit more Sung Freud when it comes down to a carefree type of cat. So he's going to make sure that he goes in there and don't spaz out like Mell. They probably had Mell in the back room with a goddamn straitjacket on and shit. They probably wanted Mell. They probably called both Charlos, but they found out when Mell got there, he probably started talking about he wanted to challenge Mike. He was going to talk his shit regardless. I don't give a fuck who he was in boxing. I'm Mell Charlo. They decided to restrain him in the back room and not even allow him to come up in front of the cameras. You know what I'm saying? He was probably back there with duct tape, moving all around. I know Jermall Charlo heard his brother back there scrambling around and shit. That's why he said during the interview that his brother was the one that reigned at 154. They can't mess with his brother just to calm him down and cheer him up. Anyway, let's get to this, man. Let's get to the first part of this interview. And we're not going through it. It's just sound bites. It's Jermall Charlo, WBC middleweight champion, hot boxing with Mike Tyson. Okay. This was one of the important parts where Mike gets right down to the grit of it. He's talking about Jermall Charlo, who he's fighting, why he call him out. He's really grabbing a hold of the heart manifold of Jermall Charlo. He's grabbing hold of it quick.
I think the guy was like, you ever think about Benavidez? Would you fight him? I'll fight him for sure. Yeah. Then why you not getting to fight anybody? He ready. Right. You know that. I know I'm fighting out.
See, I hate to stop this shit, but I want you all to keep the same energy on this YouTube shit when it comes to the phrases that you use, because Paul Pierce is repping Jermall Charlo hard. Like he wasn't even able to get his reply out, and Paul said he'll fight anybody. But Mike Tyson came out with the hitter quitter. He said, "Why you ain't fighting Benavidez, even though they in two different weight divisions?" He asked him right off the rip, "Why are you not?" Mike ain't stupid. Mike is a tone, especially when he on that toad. Mike is on point with his.
They're not letting you fight this guy. I got this guy got me calling him the Mexican monk. Everybody's scared of this guy. I hear you saying you want to fight. I just think his value is low. He's not worth as much as God damn, fight like Canelo.
Oh man, that shit is priceless. I tell like my boy Showtime, I gotta give Showtime a shout out. Once again, the brothers are making us look bad. I'm telling you, Mike Tyson, when he do that shit, that's the same shit he did when Ryan Garcia was up there capping. Mike Tyson looked down. He said, "Oh man, I don't want to hear that shit. It lower value." He's been a 2-time dog. Man, come on. At that weight class you're trying to visit, bro. Let me get this ad out the way.
I'd rather like. Then why you not fighting? God damn! Fight like Canelo. I'd rather like get one of the best in the world right now that got a belt. Then why you not fighting? Canelo? I'm just waiting. It's not like.
See, he tried to catch and shoot. You think I didn't catch that? Charlo just said he's waiting. So for anybody thinking Jermall Charlo is about to fight somebody special before Canelo, you're absolutely mistaken. He's in line sitting nice and tight with the seatbelt on because he's waiting on Canelo. You just heard it again. You just heard it right here. Yeah, I'm pinpointing, putting my fingertip. He's waiting on Canelo. He is one of many fighters waiting for Canelo in the waiting room. And that's really sad too, man. You know what I'm saying? That's very, very unacceptable and disappointing when we have names out there that you can fight. You can fight the Andrades, you can fight the Benavidez, but this cat is up here. He's caught himself. He said, "I'm waiting." Charlo said, man, Jermall Charlo said he's waiting for Canelo, bro. He's waiting. Listen to Mike.
He was when you was coming up in boxing, like I gotta go through managers. Oh, you still listen? You just start talking about his mother, his family. That don't work. You get a fight. Oh man. No, that's a different one. No, it's different. No, but look, I seen him at the fight, the last Nello fight. And he was over there ringside, kind of calling him out. I felt like, I don't know what he said, but it looked like he wanted some of that. Nah, it was too friendly. To me,
Did you hear what Mike Tyson just said? Let me go back. He said it's too friendly. Mike Tyson said it was too friendly. Mike Tyson is not exaggerating the point when he says too friendly, because I look at it like this: how can it be too friendly? Did we not see? Did Jermall Charlo not see the confrontation that his younger brother Jermall Charlo and Tony Harrison had? They was absolutely trashing one another. One more so Tony Harrison, but he's saying that doesn't work this day and time. It make a fighter not want to fight you. So for what I've been watching for the past years, that's all the Charlos did was talk shit. But see, little bits and pieces of him failing to catch and shoot. He's sitting up there saying that he want to fight. He want to wait on a fighter that's the premier fighter instead of fighting other top competition to build up his resume. He want to wait on Canelo. That's pretty much what he's telling us, y'all. We're not going to see anything special with Jermall Charlo. That's why you see Selecki over there looking like Casper the Friendly Ghost. You're trying to freaking figure out Selecki. Like, what the fuck? Out of the whole damn fight schedule, you left out his picture because Jermall Charlo might have said, nah, Canelo's not going to like that. That Canelo. I want to be dedicated and loyal to Canelo right now. That's who I'm waiting on. I want to show my loyalty to Canelo by not putting anybody else. I want to wait. Jermall Charlo said he was waiting.
Right. No, but look, I seen him at the fight, the last Nello fight, and he was over there ringside kind of calling him out. I felt like, I don't know what he said, but it looked like he wanted some of that. Nah, it was too friendly. To me,
too friendly twice.
Sign the contract, bitch. Right. You know, when you're in this business, your whole purpose is to crush the world to your feet, man. Motherfucker out there think he can beat you. Get the fuck out of here. That's just
I mean, what are you talking about? Facts, bro. Man, come on. What are you talking about? Facts. I know you got your hype man Pierce over there. You know what I'm saying? You got your hype man over there that's trying to transition over to a whole nother damn genre of reporting. I get it. I get it. You're trying to dive in a 2-foot pool. You know what I'm saying? You're trying to dive off the board into a 2-foot pool. I get it there, Paul Pierce. You want to be the hype man and convince us that you can absolutely not get hurt trying to swim in a different genre of boxing. Because this is a hurt business at the end of the day. You jump off this board, you better make sure that shit's about 30 feet deep. That's boxing. Because you're going to get in it one day and you're going to find out it's too much shit to deal with. And you're going to goddamn look for that lifeline, that inner tube. You're going to look for a rescue boat. You just can't dive over here because you have celebrity status over there in basketball. And then you want to co-sign Charlo. You know what I'm saying? Charlo can't sit up here and get co-signed saying facts when people out there want to fight you. Benavidez is out there for you. Demetrius Andrade is out there for you, bro. Like, what are you saying? You know, Mike Tyson is just on his shit. He's just basically being a host. You know what I'm saying? A professional host. And he ain't gonna keep that shit light. But if you think for 1 minute we didn't catch that Mike Tyson said you too friendly, that can be perceived in many ways, not to hurt your feelings. You know what I'm saying? He could have said you ain't shit. You know what I'm saying? You marshmallow type dude. You know what I'm saying? Mashed potatoes. Cow milk. There's a lot of places he could have went with that. Charmin. You don't have to say too much. Them just one-liners. He was pretty much say you too friendly. You too friendly. We all know Charlo can box, but Mike Tyson said twice, you too friendly, bro. But the only thing I wish Mike would have said in this instance, say, if you really want him, you know, he told him to act like Roberto Duran and goddamn to get that shit. And Charlo came back with, USA. You can't do that this damn time, Mike. You can't do that, Mike. Times have changed. I know when you was coming up, there was no internet. But you can't talk about people's family and everything like that. I know my brother did. I know Mell was talking about killing people's family. I know that, Mike. But don't just smoke on your toe. Don't bring that up. Come on, man.
Real talk. That's from a fighting top pedigree perspective. And you know what? It's easy to create that buzz with the social media too. Man, you should be fighting.
What the fuck is Paul Pierce talking about?
Fighting right now, the best part. Calling him out. I think he's the best anyway at that. Well, I think that too.
Look, but fuck this whole interview up. I'm just gonna be honest with Paul Pierce. Goddamn, bro. Goddamn. We can figure it out that you and Ma Charlo has this brotherhood and this bromance going on. I get it, bro, but you're messing up the interview. If you keep on complimenting Jermall Charlo anymore, goddammit, I mean, the fans are gonna get uncomfortable. What does Pierce have to do? Let Maul talk for himself. You ain't fought a fight, bro. You played basketball. You just up here, co-signing and bandwagon riding and goddamn verbal massaging goddamn Maul Charlo, man. Everything that come out the mouth, you got to co-sign him. You damn near got your arm around him. Damn, what's going on over there, bro? Let this man speak for himself.
I need him to prove it. Right. That the world needs him to prove it. Yeah. Before he goes to a wheelchair or something, man. Come on, we got to start fighting. You know, what's your brother, 154? 154. Now imagine if Errol Spence went up and fought him. Imagine what kind of money they can make. Yeah. See, that's what this is all about. They train together.
Did you hear? Did you hear? Did you hear what just said? Did you hear what he just said? Okay, I'm a re-explain what he just said. He said, why don't Errol Spence go up and fight your brother? After asking what division your brother fight at. Mike already knows he fights at 154, but being he's the host of the show, he's just lining it up. So when he said Errol Spence should fight Mell Charlo, isn't that what World Combat Sports said? I gave you a scenario on how they can make money. Yes, me only. Me only. I'm going to take credit for myself because people tend to ignore what they see. You know what I'm saying? And they walk away and they want to talk differently. I said this. I said it right off the rip. I said Errol Spence and Mell Charlo should start some type of riff or beef or some type of animus in the media, just lightly, and fight one another. I said it would be a great time. I also put in there with the hypothetical that if Mell Charlo win those titles at 154, for Spence to move up and fight Mell Charlo because they are stablemates. Mell Charlo, the good thing about him, he's already had a loss, so he's not really clamoring for to keep that O on his record. He already has a loss. But the reason for me saying that the brothers can make some money was the fact that it's absolutely the perfect matchup to fool the fans. See, people was telling me, "Oh man, that's lunacy, dog, for you to say some shit like that. Why would you want them?" Mike Tyson, see what I was talking about? I'm sober, he's on the toad. I'm thinking the same way he doing while he's high in the motherfucking stratosphere. I said it. I put it out there. If these two want to make money, all they have to do is start some type of riff. Now check this out. From my understanding, Derrick James ain't training Mell Charlo like that. Did I not say this would be the perfect fight for them? All they got to do is start some verbal jousting in the media, going back and forth, and then Errol say, "Oh, don't fuck around. Strap season still in effect. I come up to 154. I get that strap too." That's all he has to say, man. The fans will bite on it. The Errol Spence channels especially. They'll be torn. They hard to be bleeding in several places, but they'll get over it because they all about protecting these Texas fighters right now. But I said it. This is the best time for this shit to happen. They fight one time, Errol Spence wins the belt. It provides him a second division, undisputed, to his resume, which catapults him. Real talk, it catapults him in the most quickest expedited manner possible in his career right now. Then it's a rematch clause in there where they fight again for big money. They're going to get a 2-for-1 like Floyd did with Marcos Maidana. They're going to make some money off this shit. Fuck 300,000. Fuck 350. We're talking about Mell Charlo facing Errol Spence. He can do this shit before Crawford. Y'all not understanding. He can take this fight before Crawford. Because it will make a lot of money. You take the momentum of him coming off Castano if he wins it, right? You take the momentum of him coming off Castano. And you also take the fact that they're in the same regional location. You also bleed it in that they used to be stablemates like that. You have a super trifecta to build this fight up with barely any energy. It's a magnificent idea. It's a brilliant idea. I said this shit months ago. And here Mike Tyson's bringing it up. Mike Tyson is bringing the fuck up that Spence should fight goddamn Mell Charlo for money. Because he sees the money in that fight. But they want to talk about, Mell Charlo want to talk about, he's from the same hood. Your hood gonna pay you $15 million? Your hood gonna pay you $15 million? Or are you gonna sell it to the fans and go out here once Mell Charlo goddamn, if he wins these damn titles for undisputed 154, you ain't gonna be able to tell him shit. And then here comes Errol Spence. Let's say Errol Spence goes in there and beat Dennis Ugas. I'm just saying hypothetically, if he makes it to the fight. He beats Dennis Ugas. He has momentum. He's not going up to 154 to fight for his 147 titles. He's going up there for Mell shit. We're not doing the Sugar Ray Leonard, Donnie the Blonde Lennon type shit fighting at a catchweight. He's going up there to fight Mell, his former stablemate. Boom, they get it in. They put on a great performance. Errol Spence wins the belts. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter because it allows Mell Charlo to become two-time unified champion. That's if they can convince Al Heyman and whoever else is shaking and moving back there to make this magical fight work. It will make a lot of money for a lot of people. Free Hoover on deck. What's good? Tariq Ali, what's good?
That's the only reason. If your friend, you will be my friend. Let's help me get me some money. Let's fight and get $10 million. That's what my friend do. My friend fights me and helps me help my family. That makes sense. That's what friends do.
What Mike Tyson say? That's what friends do? No, hell no. What did Mike Tyson say? That's what friends do. Didn't I say that shit? They have the opportunity to make each other money. What did Mike Tyson just say? That's what friends do. What Jermall Charlo say? Oh, that makes sense. He know it makes sense. Man, I gotta play that shit back.
Go all out and after see, that's what this is all about. They train together. Dig, that's the only reason. If your friend, you will be my friend. Let's help me get me some money. Let's fight and get $10 million. That's what my friend do. My friend fights me and helps me help my family. That makes sense. That's what friends do. We go all out and after we go to the same party, we go to the same church, whatever. Have you ever fought somebody that was your friend? I fought Henry Tillman, yeah. But I'm saying, like, did you take it easy on him? He wasn't taking it easy.
Let me get to this chat. I hope by the time I come back, they get Paul Pierce the fuck up off the set. This mug is goddamn making people uncomfortable. Man, it's taking me back a little bit. Like, Paul, what are you on, man? Jesus Christ, man. You up here, Jermall Charlo, you still gonna donate to my foundation? I mean, what the fuck are you doing, Paul Pierce? Shout out to Michael Johnson Boxing Talking More. What's good? Show on the hospital. What's good? Tariq Ali in the building. WCS, what's good with it? Free Hoover on deck. I see you. WCS, salute, bro. Salute to you. Chad Perez, what's good, Chad? EJ and Mell have the same trainer. Mell and Spence, easy fight to make, though. That is not true anymore like that, Hoover. EJ and Mell do not have the same trainer per se. For what I've been understanding is that Juan Guzman has been training Mell Charlo. Derrick James has not been training Charlo like people believe. It has not been that way. You know what I'm saying? The first time I kind of got word of it, Showtime said that, Derrick James was coming in periodically. So I also reference when I hear stuff, I also go out and reference. And I did reference it to be solid information. That Derrick James wasn't training him full time like that. He was only dropping through his part of town at a different gym, like 3 days a week. Allegedly. We have to put the A word in there. But Paul Pierce, bro, he was talking about your friends making money. Once again, you're coming in here with this team mentality. When Mike Tyson presents a way for Errol Spence and Mell Charlo to make even millions, more millions, you're coming up there talking about, did you ever fight one of your friends? Mike Tyson said, yeah, Tillman. And then he said, did you take it easy on him? This somebody call an Uber. Paul Pierce needs a ride ASAP. Travis Brown on deck. What's good with it? PH Big Dog. Salute WCS. Salute to you. Salute to everyone that's in the building.
You know what I mean? He already kicked my ass 2 times in the amateurs. Yeah. Because if that's your boy, That's hard to let the hands loose. No, right? If that's your boy, you gonna let him starve, you gonna let his family starve. That's how you got. You can help him out. Right.
See, I want everybody to listen to Mike Tyson because at this point in time, he's making a lot of sense. Real talk. This is grown adults. This is men to men type shit. Men to women, if they listening. What Mike Tyson said is some real shit. That's what is missing a lot that we have going on. He's pretty much saying you're gonna let your friend starve. If both of y'all are able to make money, make it. Especially when it comes to the M's. This is not a small time fight. This is a big time fight we're talking about. It's a big time fight. Believe it or not, if this fight was to happen before, I'm thinking mastermind type shit, right? Let's just say Errol Spence did move up. He would take momentum away from Crawford moving up, attempting to fight Jermall Charlo. All right. So therefore, Spence, in my opinion, has been riding behind the fumes of Terrence Crawford to fight at welterweight. It's been going on forever. But now, if Errol Spence was to absolutely take the elevator up to 154 and fight Jermall Charlo, he would now have control of the wheel when it comes to the momentum to step back down to 47 and fight Terrence Crawford. He goes up there and becomes undisputed. Currently, he becomes undisputed, and then he takes a loss. Being that he was able to move up a division and do something that he hasn't did yet. Crawford's did it, but Spence hasn't done it. And defeat somebody like Mell Charlo, it provides him with another badge to his breastplate. And also, it allows him 2 paychecks that's going to be heavy. Listen to what I'm saying. 2 lucrative paychecks fighting Jermall Charlo. Then after that, the second one, he comes back down. And now we can set up the Terrence Crawford. Another check. That's 3 big checks for Errol Spence. His career is on a whole nother starlight, people. He's on a whole nother planet right now. He's living better. Shit is a whole lot different than what is right now. It's looking bleak. Very, very bleak. That is a 3 fight that'll put Errol Spence in a whole nother pay scale and a whole nother area on how they're looking at him as far as being a future Hall of Famer. Seriously. Crawford's already did it. We know that. But if Errol Spence can take that jump up, defeat Mell Charlo, and then a rematch, Mell get his belts back, both of these brothers would have pulled out a masterful game plan, which would have made them millions. And they can sit there and laugh the fuck out of that shit. They can laugh at it. Because Mell would have ate, and then, Mell would have ate, Errol would have ate twice at 54, and then came back to 47. Now he's about to really eat, because the fight between him and Terrence Crawford, people are going to be like, oh shit, Terrence Crawford, he might have more problems now that Errol Spence stepped up and fought Mell. This fight is even closer than we thought. Then you will have people second guessing themselves, saying, I don't know, man. Errol just came back from 154. I don't know. This is gonna be a close one right here. People start coming up with all these ideas and shit. See, when WCS said they don't want to stamp the approval on it because it's me. They always want to look at numbers in the live chat. Well, I'm good with authenticated numbers, organic numbers. I'm good with it. I ain't paying for shit. But when I'm speaking through the mic, everything don't have to be right, but I'm telling you, that's 3 ways on how Errol Spence can change his whole career and Mell's career. Mell having moved up to 60, he goes up to 60, a 2-time undisputed world champion. Errol Spence comes back down to 47. He has 2 divisions under his charge right now, bro. And one of them are undisputed. Terrence Crawford would have had an undisputed. And then people would so-called respect the fact that Errol Spence stepped up and took that fight with Jermall Charlo.
I don't got no friends in boxing. It's just me and my brother. What I'm talking about. Like, I don't know nothing about that friend stuff. But then, listen, then that's why you should be calling everybody out. Sugar Ray Leonard, listen. We the Charlo twins. We known for calling everybody out. Right. We called Canelo out for 5-6 years already. to fight the next best guy, the Mexican monster, Benavidez.
See what I'm talking about? Real talk. Do y'all hear what I'm talking about? I'm just asking, do y'all understand what I'm talking about? I've said if you can't get Canelo, he say he been calling out Canelo 6 years, and he slipped up on this PC today, and he said, "What? I'm waiting." He been calling out Canelo for 6 years, and he's still waiting on Canelo, and he ain't fought a big name. Mike Tyson just informed you, Jermall Charlo, that while you're waiting, fight a big name. That's exactly what Mike put out there. Is he wrong? He ain't wrong by no means, man. Mike Tyson is really on fire right now.
Mexican monster. And then that's why y'all should be calling everybody out. Sugar Ray Leonard, we the Charlo twins. We known for calling everybody out. Right. We called Canelo out for 5-6 years already. To fight the next best guy, the Mexican monster. Benavidez. You know Mexican monster. Everybody's scared of him. Nobody's scared of him. We bots. We're not scared of no human on earth.
Now, I hate to keep stopping this, but you see how the Charlo twins would, if it would have been Jerry Hurd, these motherfuckers would have been yelling and screaming. But Charlo, he checked his tone. Charlo checked his tone when Mike Tyson said, fight the Mexican monster. He ain't no Mexican monster. He checked his tone because he was about to get Charlo-ish. You know what I'm saying? He was about to get Charlo-ish. And then he realized that, damn, Mike Tyson a crazy motherfucker. I might not make it up out here, me nor Paul. Paul can't fight a lick. Charlo had to check his tone. But look, Mike Tyson is putting that shit out there. Fight David Benavidez. Fight the Mexican monster, man. Do something. Give us that big fight. And then Charlo, all he got to say is he ain't no Mexican monster.
Please call these people out. Listen, the whole world's looking at you. Call these people out.
Check this out.
Calling everybody out. Sugar Ray Leonard, we the Charlo twins. We known for calling everybody out.
Okay.
We called Canelo out for 5-6 years already. To fight the next best guy, the Mexican monster. Benavidez. You know Mexican monster. Everybody's scared of him. Nobody's scared of him. We bots. We're not scared of no human on earth. Please call these people out. Listen, the whole world's looking at
He said, call the people out.
What's up? It's the Jermall the Hitman Charlo. Let's get it. Who won it? Name them names, man. They know who they is. Name them names, please. The names need to be named. They know who they is. The Mexican monster. Mexican monster. Hello. All of them. He won't shit. He won't real one of the homie shit. We can get in there and tangle. Call them some bitches and stuff. Say something else. Call them that. Say something like that. I don't gotta disrespect them, let them know. No, Mike, it ain't like that. It ain't like that no more.
It ain't like that no more. I'm just thinking to myself, it was just like that when Jerry Hurd pulled up on you and your brother was talking about he'd kill people's family. You know what I'm saying? How is it not like that when you in the hot box with Mike? Now, of course, you wasn't high. You wasn't high. I know you like drinking champagne, like you said. He said that. So Errol Spence fans don't come in my inbox crying and shit, dragging your goddamn pads behind you. Tomorrow, that's fucked up what you said. I'm telling you that Mike Tyson is basically telling you point blank, as blatant as it can get, man. Call him out. Call him out. Call him bitches and shit like that. And then he say, oh man, I don't have to disrespect him to this. So listen, the Charlo mouths was so big when Deontay Wilder had his shit going on. He had so much fucking shit to say. Mell Charlo had so much shit to say. But now you don't have to be disrespectful. You know what I'm saying? Do you relay that message down in the same tone to your brother Mell? Because you said the Charlo twins, they don't have a problem calling people out. They fight anybody. But yet and still, you're trying to put the fire out that Mike Tyson's sending you. He's saying, hey, look in the camera and call him out. Tell him. Call him a bitch. Say this, say that. He's telling you what to do. He's influencing you. He's been there, done that. If anybody can talk that shit, in boxing of being an absolute tyrant, that's Mike Tyson. Stormy B, man, in the building, man. He said, salute at World Combat Sports. Salute to the sensei, Stormy B, in the building. Like sitting in the neighbor's den with this unfed pit while the neighbor went to the kitchen for beers. Man, I'm telling you, man, Paul Pierce, man, don't ever let Paul Pierce in your hot box again. This dude don't know what the fuck is going on. This ain't Mr. Rogers' neighborhood and shit. Paul and Mell would have been devoured. For real, man. Mike G in the building. What's good? Soft like Ray from Life said, man, I'm telling you, man, this shit is just unbelievable what we listening to right now. This has to stop. No, let me keep it going so I won't go on a tirade. Cause I'm disappointed in what I'm hearing from Jermall Charlo. Real talk.
Okay, I'm sorry. But listen, this is really a beautiful show today. And the code.
He's clowning Mell.
Oh man, this is an honor, truthfully, for me, because I think as a hooper, we always looked up.
We ain't talking about hoop.
At the fights, you know, to be able to sit here.
Hey, Paul, I'm telling you, WCS is banning you from coming on any other boxing interviews. Stay your ass out there in the parking lot. Don't do it, Mike. Don't start talking about hoop.
You know, my memory of you, Mike, I just remember because I went to some fights early 90s. I just remember I was in high school. They was like, you got to get to the fight early or you're going to miss the fight.
What was that all about? Listen,
that was like myself cleaning them up.
When I look at myself when I'm young, I said, the fuck? What was that all about? What was that era in my life all about? It's about chaos, addicted to chaos.
Yeah.
Couldn't kill myself fast enough.
Couldn't kill himself fast enough.
That's what made you great. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes your gift can be your curse. You know, but that's what makes you great.
You know, fighters.
Oh my God.
I don't know. They was just very. That's what the 80s was. In your face. 80s were in your face, and that's how the fighters were. We were just in everybody's face. I did some shrooms with them as well, but I've never heard this. I was with them in St. Bart's not too long.
Like, but we ain't finna like talk about it. We don't gotta be like.
I like that. So you see that
we already locked in.
Yes. Just saying,
they already
in case you do see each other.
Me and my twin brother not known for like, oh, you could just come up and just say what you want to say to, you know, me and my brother just, you know, smooth, get away with it. It'd probably be a fight right there.
Oh, unless your name Jared Hurd. Unless your name Jared Hurd. Unless your last name Hurd. Hickey Hurd.
Man, I want to fight the best out there, the best in the world. Let's just get in there. We don't got too much long. I'm 31 now.
This nigga talking about he old now. He old now. Jermall Charlo growing old in the hot box. Tyson do that to you.
Who the best pound for pound in your eye? Man, right now, shit, we gotta go with Canelo. You think he's the best pound for pound? I mean, right now, we looking at pound for pound. What that means to some people? I think a fighter that goes from weight division become champion at all the
consistency.
Yeah, he's become champion at all the divisions, and you know, he deserves it.
Important point coming up.
We got to take Pacquiao out of there. Yeah, he out of there. Yeah, we got to stop mentioning Keith Thurman. And I ain't saying Keith Thurman. Right. I mean, he's not in pound for pound though. That's the thing. My brother definitely belongs in pound for pound. I'll be number 11 if that's the case. I'm cool with just being in. Yeah. Well, you definitely one of the best. You in there. Yeah. It's hard to like.
Of course, we know that, Paul, coming from you.
You said the best, though. That's a number. That's like a number. Number one pound for pound. But I'm hearing different names all the time. One week they say Canelo, Terrence Crawford, you know, Errol, Spence. It's like somebody new.
No one's ever the greatest. Never going to be the greatest of all time. But everybody's going to have their era when they're great.
Talk to him, Mike.
You one of the greatest of all time. Of all time. Nobody ever let do what you did.
Then millenniums go by and stuff. And it's good to be sometimes know it's better to be a legend picture on the wall. That's Uncle Mike.
What you think about right now? Like, okay, what you think of Joshua, by the way?
I think Joshua.
We just go from pound for pound and we go to Joshua.
He got to fight old boy again. What's old boy name?
Old boy, y'all.
I wouldn't fight him right away unless I've had him in the gym with guys that really.
If it's anybody in the chat, right, I want you to get on the phone with Paul Pierce and tell him don't step foot to another boxing podcast ever until he get his shit right. We're talking about at least about 8-9 years. When he old, he ain't saying too much. None of that. He switched all pound for pound to Joshua.
Left-hand fighters, because he really wiped everybody out.
He had a lot going on. He had a lot going on. These women. What about that one?
Him, and his brother.
Oh yeah,
they can wipe everything out.
They
They got the potential to just wipe everything out.
Right.
That's just all I always wanted to do. No one can have any face over nothing.
Right. You know what? Well, tell me. So, like, what's the difference now from like your era to today? Like, what's the difference? The promoters.
Oh my God!
Everybody not matching.
No one was afraid of video one.
I'm gonna fast forward through this shit. Forgive me.
That's all you have to do. Both fighters say, I'm not fighting.
It's like, all right, how much more longer you want to box? You got 31?
Veterans United presents.
Oh my God.
U.S. Navy veteran Aquila. Another.
So
I get all the bills. Like Mike said, like that's like.
Oh, what belts?
What is it that you want to accomplish? You want all the belts. I want all the belts. I want to be classified as like one of the best fighters of my era in my division for sure. Yeah.
All the belts. So you ain't planning on moving up to 68?
Yeah, one of the best twins that ever laced up the bag. Right. All the belts. But like I'm saying, like, how was that like carrying all the belts? How was that? You walk up there with like, how many belts you had? 5?
No, it was only 3 at the time.
3?
Yeah.
How many is it now? 4 or 5.
Bro, just keep it on Charlo, man. I want him to talk about having all the belts.
You don't get your ego involved with fighting. I think about
the fighter, Russian fighter, then a black fighter.
They all gotta take.
They all gotta get it, but
that's even more.
It's all about marketing, though, not my.
What about black fighters?
Russian fighter, black American fighter. What's harder than anything?
What's harder than making GGG or Jermall Charlo?
Triple G?
Yeah.
Maybe he doesn't want to fight you. That's the only reason the fight can happen.
But I thought you said that can't.
No, you got to say, listen, you're a coward. Tell everybody right now that you don't want to fight me. Say, I want to fight you. Tell everybody right now you don't want to fight me because the fight, you got to know how to get in there.
That's marketing. That's all the marketing strategy. But sometimes they're like, you can scare the promoter off.
Scare the promoter off. Y'all scaring Al Heyman off?
Yeah, because you had a bigger draw behind you. Like, everybody comes to see my
everybody knows you too.
You had 50,
but
like,
listen, everybody,
first round.
listen, you live in the era of just cameras, man.
That's all I hear, y'all. That's all I hear.
That's how the world goes. It doesn't wait for nobody. You don't care how great a society they keep going. You don't keep up.
King Mitch on deck. I see you.
That's really how it is. I hope you didn't think it was any different. No, this is all about maintaining. This whole game of life is about maintaining. Till we go to the other side.
Like they said, Roy, they pay you all your money. What's up with that?
They asked me Joshua too.
Like say,
both of them are real dogs.
Fury, he a problem. I ain't never heard the story behind the poisonous toad. He's not poisonous.
Okay, people, I have to stop it right there because it gets into the smoking, and the inhale, exhale type of mannerism that goes on. And Paul Pierce, like Stormy B just said, Stormy said Paul was there for the smoke, literally, and I agree. Paul was waiting to get a whiff of what he's been hearing about for quite some time now. He wanted to go to that place without being in an ayahuasca, okay? He felt that what Mike Tyson has said previously on this podcast about the toad, he pretty much felt that's all he needed to take him to that place. That's all Paul Pierce was there. He heard about the toad and he wanted to smoke it. And in this podcast, he smokes it, start coughing vigorously. That's all Paul Pierce was there. But To any boxers, man, keep Paul Pierce away. That might switch up subjects and start talking my shit and you know, goddamn damn near going through a bromance, man, with damn Jermall Charlo. This what I seen. I'm speaking about Mar Charlo saying he wants all the belts. And then, you have votes in here saying that in 5 years in middleweight, he's fought Darianchenko. Who am I to say he lying? Who am I to say he lying, bro? He fought Darianchenko, who's been in there with some big names and came up short. Darianchenko gave him a battle, but Maul did fuck him up. He made him wear the fight. He absolutely fought that fight. You know what I'm saying? I have to give it up for Maul. Maul fought the fight, but Darianchenko brought that heat too. But what are you talking about? Excuse me. What are you talking about all the belts, bro? 160? So now you're basically surrendering to stay at 160. We're not going to see you step up, take any risk until you get the Canelo shot. By that time, you're going to be in the same position as Caleb Plant. I don't fucking see what is the issue with black fighters. I told you what you need to do. You can't just sit here and wait on the Hispanic fighter, the Mexican fighter. You can't do that shit. You can't sit here and wait, fucking wait, dog. We got some of the bigger names in boxing, and not all of them do it. Deontay Wilder didn't wait. He fought Tyson Fury 3 fucking times, though. 3 fucking times, man. He fought him. He didn't wait. Man, what are we doing right now in the hottest division? We got 47 and 54, bro. I'm looking at Mell Charlo. I'm like, shit. I do criticizing him for spazzing, but then again, he is fighting. He's about to attend a rematch with Brian Castano. But once again, Brian Castano, he defeated Patrick Teixeira, and it is what it is, man. They making a fight. But with Jermall Charlo, he's in a Macy division. Half of the Macy's I see are out of fucking business. He's in the Macy division. Ain't shit popping in there but mannequins, bro. We got goddamn Triple G, and we have Yoda Murata. You talking about standing power. Them two been standing in one place for the longest time, man, in an empty warehouse. Ain't nobody doing shit at 60. And he said, I want to collect all the belts. You haven't fought Murata, who's been out there, feet kicked up, doing shit, drinking goddamn Kaluas. And then we got Triple G. I don't know where the fuck he at. You know what I'm saying? Who the fuck knows? And then we don't know what's going on with the WBO. This is a fucking disappointment if you're going to say you want to be known as the best twins to do it. Man, look, bro. Y'all need to let that twin shit go because it's always going to be there. Nobody's going to change that DNA strand, that chromosome. That shit is always going to be there. But right now in boxing, if you call yourself Big Charlo, then you have to step up and do Big Charlo things. You have to step up. You keep on implying that David Benavidez is not a super middleweight. He should be fighting the cruiserweight. For me, that shows fear. That shows like you're optimistic about, the lack of confidence that you have in yourself to step in there and know that David Benavidez is going to be that light heavyweight on fight night. You seen Canelo do it? I mean, we can say, oh man, them opponents he fought was good. He did it. He did it, bro. So if your mentor, which is Canelo, Jermall Charlo, if your mentor is able to go up there from division to division, why can't you? Is no Rocky Fieldings available? If there's no Rocky Fieldings available for you at 68, then fight somebody that doesn't even have a belt. Fight an Andrade. Fight a damn David Benavidez, man. Give us something that we fucking want. Appreciate y'all putting y'all comments in the chat, man. If it was up to Maul, he'd be content fighting scrubs the rest of his career. I thought Paul Pierce was really good. This was the best hot boxing episode. I seriously disagree with you on that. You know what I'm saying? Like this being the best hot boxing episode, that was absolutely far from the truth. I think you're just being a little facetious, which is cool. I don't mind. You know what I'm saying? It's all good. Your opinion. But Paul Pierce was not really doing anything except drooling and slobbing on every freaking topic that dealt with Jermall Charlo. And then when Tyson said, friend, you know, you don't want to let your friend starve and this, that, and the other, you know, you should fight your boy. You should want to make money with your boy. He's like, did you fight any one of your friends there, Mike? Yeah, Tillman. He whooped me twice in the AMs. You know what I'm saying? Wasn't Tillman the first to go the distance with Mike outside the championship? He recognized that shit. But just the mere fact Pierce was up there talking, you know, did you like take it easy on him, Mike? Did you take it easy? I mean, take us back to that moment, Mike. I thought the nigga was gonna die like that dude in minutes. You talking about when he hit that toe? Man, you ain't never lied, Story, man. When he hit that fucking dog, I was like, that's what your ass get. You had all that motherfucking saliva built up. You up there trying to hit that shit like a G, and Mike Tyson on a whole nother level. He started coughing. That shit was serious. The producers had to cut that shit and come back. They had to get him some water, dog. Grab a hot towel. Yeah, grab two. Pierce is fucked around and hit the toad. Grab 2 towels. It's throwing me. That was funny. And it was after Mike said that this smoke was for the big boys. And then Paul started coughing. Man, that shit was hilarious, dog. That shit was hilarious, man. I think that was one of the best parts of the show, to be honest, because it was exactly what he needed to shut the fuck up, dog. Jermall was capping so many times in this video. Mike asked him to fight Benavidez, and Jermall said that he wants to wait for Canelo. Absolutely, and look, that's what I was saying, bro. That's what I was saying. He missed the catch and shoot. He missed it. He should have caught that shit in his thought process before you regurgitate it verbally. You didn't catch and shoot. Before it jumps to synapses, you should have goddamn put that shit up. You parry that motherfucker and you came back with something else. He let it jump to synapses and come out as a thought, and he had to cut. I'm waiting. He caught himself. I'm waiting. Now we know Jermall Charlo is waiting for Canelo. He's been calling him out 6 years, and he's waiting for Canelo Alvarez. Don't you know what this does to the Hispanic, Latino boxing, the brown boxing fan base? They have a lot to talk about. You have big names with your black fighters who are waiting for Canelo ticket. They're waiting. We got Andrade, we got Benavidez, two names that you can fight. They're not as big as Canelo, but you can take the risk and move up to 68 and fight. Sugar Ray Leonard did it. Lenon came in that motherfucker. I love that fight. A light heavyweight coming in there and Sugar Ray being outweighed, knocked down in the fight. Still coming back to stop that. Still coming back to stop him. And then you got Pop, you got Jermall Charlo just making up all these freaking excuses, man. It's different now. I mean, in this era, it's just different, Mike. You got managers, you got promoters. I know. I mean, Maul was like making up every freaking excuse, man. You know what I'm saying? That must. I don't know what to fucking say. I was disappointed. Seriously, I was disappointed, man. Because I'm expecting the Charlo twins. I expecting both of them to do pretty much what Mell's been doing. I have to say, Mell came back like a motherfucking wild dog against Tony Harrison, bro. As much as I critiqued the shit out of Mell, he came back like a wild dog for the Tony Harrison rematch. I mean, his eyes was laser. This dude was zoned the fuck in, dog. You couldn't tell me Mell Charlo was gonna lose that fight in the rematch. He got the early knockdown. I say, man, this dude ain't losing focus. He's zoned the fuck in. Ain't nobody telling him anything different. He probably didn't hear a word his brother was saying. He didn't hear shit Derrick James was saying. He was on his own mission. He said, I'm going to break this motherfucker down. I'm going to stop him. Fuck all that. I'm going to get my belt back. Why? Because he know he wouldn't be able to walk around Texas if Tony Harrison would have goddamn beat his ass twice. Now guess what's going to happen? He come in here and get these undisputed. You're not going to be able to tell him shit. That little penny, Maul conducted that interview as if he were under off-camera gunpoint, man. We seen Maul nuts shrink once before when Danny S. Curl Jacobs confronted him in the corridor. Yeah. He did. You know, he was sort of like in the same mood. You know what I'm saying? That moderate type mood. He gave off that same moderate type passive energy when Daniel Jacobs pulled up on him and say, well, I came at the right time. Yeah, you know. I came. So what are we doing? Danny Jacobs pulled up like a G, man. At that moment, I thought that would be a fight I want to see. I'm pretty sure y'all said the same thing. Like, that is a fight between two black fighters we want to see. Danny Jacobs and Jermall Charlo. This shit never happened. Jermall Charlo resume doesn't even come close to Danny Jacobs. Danny Jacobs out here making M's like he was saying. He's losing to the big names, but he's making M's. You know what I'm saying? You don't have a Triple G on your record. You don't have a Canelo on your record. You're waiting. You don't even have a Gabe Rosado on your record. You know what I'm saying? You got to move up and weight. These cats are moving up in weight. What about Demetrius Andrade? What indeed, if indeed he moves up from 60 to 68 to fight for the interim title, he even has bigger cojones. He's a multi-division champion just like you, Jermall Charlo. What are you going to say when Andrade moves up? Because both of y'all are chasing Canelo hype train. What I mean by the hype train, y'all are so hype to try to get a fight with Canelo Alvarez. He's sitting up there on his throne and he's picking and choosing. He's hearing it. It's just like a little litter. You know what I'm saying? When the litter comes out and you find out, you know, you already know who came out first, but you hearing them all barking, they hungry and shit. They want the milk and shit. All y'all, he just picking and choosing who you want to feed first. Who do I want to feed? I hope Canelo retires out the Bivol and Triple G. Then we'll see what they all do. I can tell you like this. I think that is not even close to what I'm thinking, Hoover. Why would I want Canelo to retire when there's individuals that potentially, I hope, Hoover, I hope there's somebody else out there that could beat him. Like, I don't know just yet. Like, we got Beterbiev, right? I want to see Canelo fight a real tough fight that somebody with equal or better skills than he got. You know what I'm saying? I want to see that shit. You know, just like they said about my boy Roy Jones. They say, oh, well, we can't give him full credit because he didn't fight nobody equal to better skills than he had. They're trying to, they're trying to look. I'm talking about, we know Floyd beat that ass. I'm talking about right now, right here. We're trying to see who can Canelo or who will Canelo fight that has equal to better skills. I want to see that before he retires. You know, the one name that people aren't playing with is Beterbiev. They're not playing with Beterbiev. They feel that strength for strength, he's good. He has the boxing skills, you know, to go in there and get it done. They believe his skill set is up there to compete well against Canelo Alvarez. Check this out, Stormy. I don't know if it was you. Was it you? I forgot who said that. Somebody said when Canelo was going to face Callum Smith was going to leave the division anyway. He was going to leave after that fight with Canelo. And sure enough, you know, he's up there talking about, well, I'm too big for this division. I forgot who said it, but, you know, I don't want it to be that the fight is too late or anything like that. I want Bivol to give a good account of himself, a strong account of himself against Canelo. I don't want no Callum Smith bullshit where you inactive, you know, goddamn in there as a body, moving around like it's a sparring session. We don't want to see that shit. Now, look, if we see that with Bivol, we're gonna think that the money, you know, they're popping the can and seeing how much money in there, and they just eating that shit like spinach. They say, oh, this is good. This is great. I'm good. You know what I'm saying? I'm good. I'm not putting out in the fight. If Bivol goes in there and that bullshit happens, I don't get it, man. Because Bivol, you know, his punch output, his punch rate, you know, overall as a fighter, it's a damn good fight to me. I just don't like the fact that we're talking about a 2-fight deal with Canelo. Why can't Jermall Charlo be in the equation? So if Jermall Charlo believes that Benavidez is too big for 68, how do we feel confident about him moving up to 68 to face somebody like Canelo who's been up to 175? What do you think Canelo's going to come in at if you face him at 68? You moving up to a weight class you never competed at professionally like that, and you already voicing concerns about how big Benavidez is. Well, damn, you want a Canelo fight? What weight do you think he's going to be at? After he removed that IV, Canelo is probably going to be damn near light heavy. Do you want to check Jermall Charlo? Are you sure you can go in there and beat Canelo? I'm not getting the feeling that you're sure that you can go in there and beat him, because you up here telling us you don't want to piss him off. Beterbiev is miles ahead mentally of anyone Canelo has ever faced. He will break sentiment, body, and spirit. I hope that fight happens, Stormy. You know what I'm saying? I hope we're able to see Beterbiev contend against Canelo, because when it comes to matchup and lining them up, juxtapose, you know, skill for skill, it's nice, solid. It's a respectable comparison. You know, with the Bivol shit, you know, people are like, well, with the Rocky Fielding lopsided. You know what I'm saying? Callum Smith, oh, he's tall enough. Nothing. A Paul Pierce in the ring. Callum Smith was a Paul Pierce. Tall with no boxing etiquette whatsoever. Billy Joe Sanders said he'll never quit. From the same eye shit. Caleb Plant, he chose to have an intervention in between the fight. That's after being slapped during the face-off. He decided to have an intervention, talk it up, chop it. Yeah, cool. What's your social security? All right, cool. You got WhatsApp? I'm going to talk to you on WhatsApp after this done. I just want to get a critique of, you know, how I did in the fight. Okay, Canelo? All right, cool. I mean, I was disappointed, bro. I was fucking disappointed. Let me move on to the second, and y'all tell me what you think about this question.
Let's get right to it. How you feeling, Steven? Good. Do you have any influence on the biggest fight that everybody wants to see is Terrence Crawford and Errol Spence? Should Errol Spence get past your Dana Sugas? There was comments made that, you know, financially it may not be there.
I think the fans the fans do have a role. And I think everyone should continue to express, you know, their interest in that fight. And
so pretty much Blue Blood asked a question, right? And This was trying to gauge how far off, when we're talking about a descension of a meteorite when it comes to Terrence Crawford and Errol Spence. We're trying to see when it's going to actually hit Earth. We've seen it on the radar forever and a day. The shit was burning some hot. But we just don't know where it's at right now. So Blue asked the question, who has influence and so forth. He's asking Steven Espinosa, you know what I'm saying? And we didn't get a straight answer. Because just like my boy Showtime said today, and many others, we've set up here and said that the fight may not happen, bro. This fight may not happen for financial reasons. You know what I'm saying? Lack of funds, insufficient funds. This fight may not take place anytime soon. And we can point the fingers all day, but the question was asked, and Espinosa, in my opinion, it wasn't a straight cut and dry answer as to what we're gonna see. You know what I'm saying? I didn't hear anything. I didn't collect any data about confirming and making me any happier that we'll see Errol Spence, Terrence Crawford. Because the question made sense. We want to know what's holding it up. Is it a financial type of situation? What's going on? I hear Crawford potentially may sign with Probella. They seem to be picking up a lot of people. You know what I'm saying? Picking up a lot of fighters, rather, not people, a lot of fighters. So we'll see how that works out. Team Canelo agent Beterbiev out just like they did Triple G. Beterbiev, man, he looks strong though. For real. He looks like a Wolverine to me. He looked ready. You know what I'm saying? He looks ready, man. For real. Just ask Marcus Brown, man. He looks ready. Brown went in thinking he can compete. No, Derrick James allowed him to become a walking heavy bag. If there was someone else, Spence, for example, James would have stopped it between rounds. Damn. See, we're waiting for Spence to be in a type of fight like that. We're waiting, and we think that type of energy will be stormy between him and Terrence Crawford, because we seen Beterbiev breaking down Brown. We seen it happen. We seen it, and I don't know what the fuck was going on with the corner. I mean, that's why I tell people, I was like, damn, Derrick James to me is overrated. Like, they had the damn ball of water or whatever. They had a Gatorade bottle up. I don't fucking know. Like, couldn't have been better instructions. Marcus Brown got his ass beat. You know what I'm saying? I mean, we're still waiting for certain fighters to get that work, from opponent that matches up real nice. Marcus Brown was in there with a tough Beterbiev. I don't have nothing against Marcus Brown, man. Good dude. Beterbiev was on a whole nother level. And I feel that he's going to be on a different level when it comes to Canelo Alvarez. But once again, Canelo seems like he's doing just what y'all said. He's aging out. I mean, Canelo's aging out Beterbiev. And so the fight can drop off the radar. It's never wise to shelf champs in their prime. And we just need the change of the guard. Like, Canelo is so young in the game. Canelo may stall out the game for another 4 or 5 years, man. Like it should get boring to fight fans to see Canelo draining the well of all this money and not allowing other fighters to hydrate in the same manner for which he's making his professional living. If Mike Tyson sitting up here saying your friends should eat, you should allow your friends to eat, then guess what? I think when it comes down to it, why the promoters putting all these millions of dollars when they can kind of spread that wealth over several fights and allow another fighter to get paid the most money they ever did in their career too. But Canelo is getting these insane purses. And it seems like there's no other fighter even close to Canelo. Not even close consistently. Canelo can fight a tree tomorrow, and that tree will get paid more than fighters that's actually holding a championship. Silence King in the building. What's good with you, bro? That W says he is overrated. People are afraid to critique that camp. People make mistakes all the time. There's no perfection. Critiquing doesn't mean hating. Once again, critiquing doesn't mean hating. I third again, critiquing doesn't mean hating. Well said. Especially in this YTC, critiquing doesn't mean hating. When you critique someone's favorite fighter, they feel like, they should blow up on you and just try to ostracize you as if you don't know shit about boxing. I remember when Stormy said what he said about Terrence Crawford and Errol. I remember. I was listening. I seen how the chat blew up, and all of them need Ritalin. They need some Xanax in that motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? People lost their mind. How dare you, Stormy? Somebody called YouTube. This guy's insane. I mean, they think you say Terrence beat Errol Spence, man, and you're not rolling with the narrative. You're rolling with the knowledge that you blessed with, the history. People look at it like, nah, man, you should ride with us. You know what I'm saying? If we ride with Errol heavy, you should ride with Errol heavy too. No, man, you ride with who you ride with, bro. You know what I'm saying? That's all it is. Critiquing doesn't mean hating. Remember that shit. Because you have different types of criticism. They always say constructive criticism, right? But people never takes it to that. They just say, okay, eliminate the first and let's go with the latter. All right? Criticism. And then they run with it. Boxing has surely changed since Mike era. Absolutely it has. Absolutely, man. That shit has changed tenfold since the Mike era. Because they tell me, look, I have people get on here talking about Mike didn't fight nobody. Listen. Mike was up there partying, fighting, goddamn fighting Lennox Lewis, goddamn biting motherfucking body parts off, going to prison. Man, Mike was a motherfucking monster back then. To be involved with what he was a part of, to do what he was able to do, to have the highlight reels he has. I'm telling you, people, like outside of Roy Jones, when I see Mike Tyson in person and I see the people that flock to him, man, they treat him like a boxing god, man. This is the guy who went to prison for rape. They treat Mike Tyson like a boxing god. A boxing god. They have him in the pantheon. When they see Mike Tyson walk in the building, he ain't around no security. Mike Tyson, when I saw him in damn Vegas, Mike Tyson came in through the VIP exit with his girl, and that was it. I didn't see shit else. I didn't see not one bodyguard with Mike. It's a difference, bro. Mike Tyson was able to do some things that most people can't do, even while he was on drugs and everything else. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? I mean, that's just the way it was. You had some of these big boys fighting each other, and that's what we wanted to see. But now it just seems like we got the heavyweight division. People get mad because, Wilder was fighting Tyson Fury, but Tyson Fury somehow gained his best notoriety ever by defeating Deontay Wilder. Deontay Wilder won shit before. That's what they were saying. He can't box. He can't do shit. But when Tyson Fury defeated him, it put him in the magazine next to Teofimo Lopez. How does that work? How can you say a diamond, as cloudy as they appraised Deontay Wilder's boxing skill, how can you take that diamond, which has little value when it comes to boxing skills, and when Tyson Fury gets a hold of it. You act like, oh, it was a mistake. This actually is one of the most purest diamonds we ever seen. They don't never say anything good about Deontay, but yet they award Tyson Fury for the win. That doesn't make sense at all, because you never gave him credit when he was reigning champion, but when Tyson Fury defeated him, you put him on the magazine with T.O. And then we all know that Deontay should have fought Anthony Joshua back then. We already know. And now we at a point in different situation where we have Deontay Wilder out of the sport and nobody's talking about the heavyweight division. So I'll leave it at that. I'm done talking about that. I mean, we got one of the most manufactured heavyweight champions in a long time. You know, that was Anthony Joshua. Why? Because Tyson Fury left the sport. So Anthony Joshua became the belt collector. He came belt collector. Represented by who? The one and only Eddie Hearns. They did a stand-up, bang it out job, didn't they? They was able to scoop up all those belts, fool all the fans. You know, like I said, back then, I remember talking in all the Facebook groups. I say, Joshua is clearly overrated. What are y'all looking at? This was back in 2018. And they were saying, he's selling out Wembley. He's selling out Wembley. He's the best. They're going to be calling him Muhammad Ali when it's all over. Okay. All right, I got it. Yeah, you did say Bud stopped. You did say Bud stops Errol. You did say Bud stops Errol. And people lost their minds. People lost their minds all off critique, all off opinionated views. He said, Stormy said, Bud stops Errol. Watch what happens. Then we can share beers and I explain what the fuck happened. Damn, dog. You going at him like that? Damn. He said we can share beers and then we can break it down even more. Mike talked that shit like the baddest on the planet. Yeah, he did. Yeah, he did. I ain't gonna lie. When I was coming up, bro, man, I always used to, when there was a Mike Tyson fight come on, like they said, you know, with Paul Pierce, one of the clearest thing he said the whole time, that you had to be there early when Mike Tyson was walking out to the ring. Else some of his fights was ending so early. You know what I'm saying? You had to be there ahead of time to watch the fight before. Hurry up and grab your popcorn or whatever, get back in there and watch that shit. Else the fight's gonna be over. That's what Mike was doing. He was all about pure chaos and mayhem, the shock and awe factor. That was what Mike Tyson was about. Tyson had a solid point about Charlo being too nice to Canelo. However, Mike is full of shit. He was up there hyping Ryan, Mr. Capion, Garcia all the way up. He was, man. And Mitch, you have to give him some type of consideration, Mitch, that he was under the influence. All right, I'm just gonna say it. He was under the influence, and Mike seems to be catering to a lot of Mexican fighters. I'm just saying. He called David Benavidez the Mexican monster, and he was very insidious the way he did it. Very insidious, man. He said, why don't you fight the Mexican monster? Benavidez ain't no monster. And then Charlo checked this out. Oh, shit. He ain't no monster, Mike. All right? And please don't get pissed off. Just smoke that toad, okay? I want you to be relaxed as possible. He said that the moniker, he said the alias, why don't you fight the Mexican monster then, Charlo? Mike Tyson been catering to Ryan Garcia, just like King Mitch just said. Ryan Garcia got the biggest hype. He said, God damn, Tank. And Tank was on the phone. I ain't never heard no shit like this, Tank. Ryan up there talking about, if you don't take this fight, your career forever be tainted. Man, get the fuck out of here. Done Dot in the building. What's good with it? Silent King said, it's the same thing they do to Floyd for his style. They call it boring, but Loma does it, and it's amazing. Absolutely. Absolutely. Loma can do no wrong. But like I said before, I really don't. I really not trying to play at this. I can talk my shit because I've been to combat, man. I'm just saying, don't give Loma the permission to come back over here, man. You need to fight that. You need to fight that war over there, Loma. You need to fight that war for real. Don't give him a permitted discharge, man. Come on, man. Loma need that second level of freaking combat. Loma trying to come over here because Cambozo the clown is sitting up here lying to us when he's really waiting on Lomachenko. He's trying to make it seem like he's all about the action. Get the fuck out of here, man. I got Tyson rated a bit ahead of Ernie Shavers, but not in the class of Ali Holmes, Holyfield, Lewis Foreman. That's Joe Lewis and Lennox Lewis, of course. Foreman, Frazier, Marciano, Johnny Listen. Okay, for sure. I could take that. I spoke to Ernie Shavers in Alabama, and I think I said something. I said this. I don't know if it's on my interview or not, but I was just delighted to speak with Ernie Shavers, man. Come on, man. Old school, heavy-handed. I say one of the hardest hitters. And then Ernie corrected me and said, the hardest hitter. Ernie Shavers said the hardest hitter. I ain't bullshitting. Ernie said the hardest hitter. Damn. That's good assessment right there, man. I need to post that up there. You know what I'm saying? Stormy said, I got Tyson rated a bit ahead of Ernie Shavers, but not in the class. Not in the class of Ali Holmes, Holyfield, Lewis, Lennox Lewis, Joe Lewis, Foreman, Frazier, Marciano, Johnston, and Liston. AJ was always mediocre. Loma don't do shit for what Floyd does or did. I see where you at with it, though. I mean, they said he had the best footwork. His dad sent him to dance classes. The man just had amazing rhythm and fluidity in his footwork. But he boxes just like, Floyd was doing. Floyd had good footwork. Floyd make a motherfucker miss. Anyway, enough of Loma. He's serving a war. No discharge papers. Go on that front line with those 8 rounds there, Loma. Get it in. Man, fuck that. I ain't giving Mike no consideration. MF smoke weed every day. Ain't no excuse or consideration for Mike up there on that bullshit. The whole world knows Ryan Garcia was fronting. Well, I didn't ask you to give Mike any credit. But he's Mike Tyson, man. Look, believe it or not, Mike Tyson, the road that he's traveled, man, he's been through some rough times there, Mitch. For real. I'm not trying to speak as an unemployed life coach, bro. I'm just letting it be known that Mike went through some rough times, going to the boys' home, you know what I'm saying, losing cuss. I mean, it's just a lot that he went through to make it to where he was. All the shit he did, the embarrassment of Robin Gibbons. It's just too much to talk about. Biting off of Vander's, biting him on both ears, not just one ear, both ears. Mike was all about equality. He didn't want to bite one ear. He wanted to bite 2 ears. He was all about equality. This dude was a savage, man. He bit Evander's ear, knowing he had flesh in his mouth, and he spit that motherfucker out into the canvas. Mike Tyson's a savage, bro. And then to see how he looked, to get in shape and go in there and fight one of the greats in Roy Jones Jr. Both of them went in there. That was the right opponent. Both of them looked good, but Mike Tyson, I was impressed in what type of shape he looked. There wasn't no drug testing now. Mike Tyson say, nah, y'all ain't drug testing shit. There wasn't no drug testing. But But to see him go in there and move the way he was moving, man, give us that flash of the old Mike, man, real talk. It's a blessing, dog. Because I look at it like this. No one can take away the moment that I was able to speak with some of the legends that I grew up watching. I don't care how many views. I had the opportunity to speak to some legends, bro. I got a chance to speak to Holyfield in person, Ernie Shavers in person, James Lights Out Tony in person, Roy Jones Jr., Ray Mercer in person, Jerry Cooney in person, Lennox Lewis, Deontay Wilder. I actually got a chance to speak with these individuals. Luis Ortiz. I'm just saying. I'm just saying, speaking to some individuals. Terrence Crawford. I can go on and on. That sits with me. You know what I'm saying? That sits with me. That what warms my heart about this whole boxing shit. Being able to speak to these individuals when you grew up watching these dudes fight, going to fight parties, covering, talking about the sport, watching film, and all this shit, man. It's incredible, dog. The only thing amazing about Loma is his approach to the conflict he's involved in. They hated Ali. See, now y'all getting into some real shit. Y'all pulling out the motherfucking blades, dog. Y'all pulling out the blades. See, I wasn't even trying to go there, man. But I mean, your insertion is absolutely correct. Ali was stripped, and they pretty much sent him on that confinement mission. And they really hated him for it. A guy who actually stood up and said, they ain't did shit to me. They ain't did shit to me. Why should I go over there and fight somebody else's war? They haven't did anything to me. I'm trying to fight in the ring. I ain't trying to fight over there. Muhammad Ali was letting them know. But see, with Lomachenko, it's a bit different. Because you know that back then, the draft, for you to be a draft dodger was considered the ultimate disrespect. You know what I'm saying? Being a draft dodger, not fighting for your country. Right now, people can give a fuck. Like you say you're a veteran. People, I don't give a fuck about that shit. Like back then, it had more of a prestige attached to it when you was in the draft and you going over. It's plenty of boxers went over to fight and serve their country. Many. You know what I'm saying? And but what Muhammad Ali was able to do with it caused a lot of people to frown and take vengeance out and wanted to make an example out of Ali. But he took it. You know what I'm saying? He took the shit. I always wanted to know what it would be like if he would have fought during that time that he was out of the sport. What fights did we actually miss that Ali could have been a part of when he was out of the sport? You know what I'm saying? I cannot even come close to comparing the Lomachenko situation. Because, first of all, Lomachenko don't have the activism and the presence that Muhammad Ali presented to the public. He doesn't have that overlay. You know what I'm saying? That persona. He doesn't come close. I can't even compare him to that. Just because he's apprehensive and going over here, picking up a weapon and going out there and fighting. There's been plenty of people that don't want to fight. But just the fact that he's been over there, I said 36 hours last time. He's been over there probably 96 hours now. You know what I'm saying? He wants to come home to fight Kambosos. Well, I'll tell you this. It's not many U.S. service members. If you're on the boxing team, you ain't going to combat. You know what I'm saying? Like, it depends on who you are. Now, if you're on the boxing team, according to what unit you in or how many people they need, yeah, they'll send you over to combat. You know what I'm saying? They'll send you over to combat. But I can tell you this, they're not going to let you go on the R&R when you're in combat to go fight a boxing match. Like a big time, they're not going to do it. Like, you're part of the military. You're pissing people off. It's a chain of command in this motherfucker. That's why you haven't seen Lomachenko come back yet, because it's a chain of command. Lomachenko don't have no chain of command. He's a boxer. He's independently, he's fighting. When you go over there and you're fighting under your country's, your nation's colors, guess what? You're following their rules, their demands, and their orders. And they said, Lomachenko, go in there and get dressed. We're going to issue your weapon. We're going to give you this pack and everything else. And that's what it is. Loma's new nickname is U.S. Purple Heart, savior of Ukraine. And he said Ukraine. God damn. You're just being disrespectful, dog. You're just being disrespectful. And shout out to Alexander Usyk, too. Got a chance to meet Usyk. You know what I'm saying? The unified heavyweight champion, undisputed cruiserweight. Come on, man. I got a chance to meet Alexander Usyk. That motherfucker tall as shit, too. Losing Robin. Loma was wearing leotards in those dance class, probably a tutu as well. I'll have to give it up for Loma. At one point in time, against the opposition he was fighting, he looked very good. You know what I'm saying? As far as footwork. But I was never really truly impressed with him because, the fight between him and Gary Russell Jr. was close in my opinion. It wasn't anything spectacular. And then the crazy part about it is that with all the dance classes and shit, Lomachenko still wasn't sure that he wanted to turn professional. He was over there fighting professional fights at the WBSS, and they weren't recording the motherfuckers. So he turns pro, and they want to act like, oh, he's coming in here, his second professional fight, and he gets a title shot. He want to break the record. No, you was over there already fighting professional, and they didn't want to record your fights, bro. So how you going to go over here with fraud intentions and say, oh, let me fight my second professional fight? And they gave you goddamn the motherfucking assassin head buddy master himself, Orlando Salido. They gave you a motherfucking unsavory character. They gave you the Riddler. You know what I'm saying? They gave you motherfucking the Joker. They gave you the grimy part of boxing. He said, you want to bring your goddamn entitled ass over here, knowing that we already know you've been fighting, and you trying to say, well, I'm going to come over here and pretend like this is my second professional fight so I can break the record for earning a belt? Nah, he put a stop to that shit. Mike was expecting Charlo to go off. No, Mike wasn't expecting that shit done, darling. Mike, look, I'm telling you, Mike's mindset, man, he would say some blatant shit. And Mike doesn't expect anyone to return that energy to him. And he really don't give a fuck, to be honest. Mike understands that at the end of the day, he knows how to fight. People understand that this is the same guy who bit off Evander Holyfield's ear. This is the same guy who berated a Caucasian in the audience and called him a white boy. I'll do this, that, and the other to you until you love me. That's Mike Tyson. Them people be very, very cautious about stepping up there with Mike. He's smoking the toad too. Man, come on, man. Please. Come back. Yeah, you asked me to give Mike some consideration. No. Under the influence, my ass might be up there bullshitting. Man, but look, what he's been through, Mitch, that's all I'm saying. He has to write the bullshit. Mike is a motherfucking legend of the sport. I'm surprised he's still alive. You know what I'm saying? I'm surprised Mike is alive, man. Mike has came to a point where he was broke to making money again. I find him as a successful individual because a lot of boxers aren't in the position of Mike Tyson. Real talk. They talk about the money. Don King said if I stole hundreds from him, they was coming to me for them to make money. So I made them the most money they ever made in their career. So before I met you, you didn't have 100. I mean, Don King kept, before I met you, you didn't have no money. So whatever I did for you was a plus. Say what you want. I don't care. For him to rebound the way he did to where he at now, it's amazing, dog. It's fighters out there struggling right now, man. He said, I'm getting disqualified no matter how bad Mills Lanes want the fight to continue. Man, shout out to my boy Mills Lane, man. 3 swipes of the nose, U.S. Marine comrade. I had the opportunity to meet my boy Mills Lane, man, because these cats be coming over the bases talking and shit. Man, shout out to Mills Lanes. I never expected him to be, with wings already, man. I didn't think he'd pass away that early. But it wasn't so much Mills Lane. It was the doctor, Stormy, if I'm correct. It was the doctor who looked at the ears. Oh, he's okay. And Mills Lane was actually trying to say, you sure? He bit him in the ear. You sure, doctor? The doctor okayed that it was okay for Holyfield to continue. So Tyson said, okay, motherfucker, all right, I guess I didn't bite hard enough, goddammit. No, it's over. It's over. I'm calling a fight. It's over. That's when Mills Lane's called a fight. When he bit him in the other ear, but the doctor was responsible for letting that shit go on. The doctor came out, I dab it with a rag. Oh, it's cool. It's fine. Keep going. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I don't know what Mills Lanes was thinking, but if the doctor, look at it this way, Stormy, I would say this. You know very well in boxing, if the cut or the injury or anything is not affecting or impairing the vision, they will let the fight go on. So in that consideration, I believe that the doctor looked at it, and the ear, being it wasn't cauliflower ear, the ear was fucked up though. The doctor felt he can go on. Now it might have been some hundreds that slipped out of his pocket on the way up to the apron, but somebody paid him to say, "Hey, don't stop that motherfucking fight right now." And then Mike Tyson said, "Fuck it, man. I'm going over here. I'm gonna goddamn do it again." He did it. The fight was called off, and chaos ensued. That's the history of having Mike Tyson in the building. Marijuana shouldn't be in the banned substance list any fucking way. Super recreational. Yeah, it is. Not down here in GA though. Mills Lane did let the first bite go though. Yeah, he let the first fight go. Absolutely he did. The doctor told Holyfield it was okay to continue. And then after he did the second time, Mill Lane called the fight. Slightly different though. The U.S. wanted Ali to invade someone's land. Loma's country is being invaded. He should want to defend his homeland. Absolutely. Absolutely. But I guess people are pretty much expressing the fact that they're similar in those two individuals being boxers and then pretty much being called to war. You know what I'm saying? To go fight. It's much different to go fight the way we used to do it. We did some bad things over there in Vietnam. You know what I'm saying? We did some really, really bad things. And Muhammad Ali probably knew we did some bad things over there. And a lot of innocent people died over there, man. A lot of innocent people died over there. A lot of U.S. service members died over there. It was a bad war over there, man. Altogether, it was bad. Loma is a good fighter, though. Just too much bullshit hype from ESPN for me. Man, they love Lomachenko. The man is still sitting on the pound-for-pound list with no titles. All because his good friend, Alexander Usyk, is on there, who has belts. You know what I'm saying? Both of these guys are in their home country, right? And they want to keep people looking at that list to see, oh, look at these guys. They're decorated. You know what I'm saying? They give these guys the most love. Like, I'm going to be honest with you. I felt some type of way about, I kind of thought Alexander Usyk was who he was. Coming in here and fighting Witherspoon the first fight and then looking shaky against Chisora, right? But he beat Joshua. And then I said to myself, Joshua ain't hard to beat. You know what I'm saying? I'm not trying to be extremely petty, but Joshua isn't hard to beat. He stepped up competition and he's been getting beat. You know what I'm saying? Ruiz upset his ass and then come a cruiserweight. A cruiserweight, y'all. But I have to say this. When I had the opportunity to, kind of interact with Alexander Usyk, I didn't ask him for shit for a picture. I'm taking a picture of him, and he started playing with the camera lens and shit, making all these faces and shit. I say, damn, Usyk has a sense of humor, but goddamn it, he got Frankenstein shoes on. I bullshit you not. Alexander Usyk has some platform shoes that look just like I used to watch the Addams Family, bro. Like, it only takes one stomp type of shit. I don't know how comfortable them motherfuckers are, but Usyk looked like he was 6'10". He looked 6'15" in them boots. And then I say, what's going on, champ? Can I get a picture? Approachable, one stuck up or none. Sure. You know what I'm saying? Sure. It's all good. No disrespect to Ukraine. Just chose to spell it that way. So there's no bullshit with the street. Hey, miss, don't be trying to clean that shit up now. Don't be trying to clean that shit up, dog. Because you know how they be looking. You know what I'm saying? You know how they be looking on these damn chats and shit. They say, oh, he's a funny guy, huh? Find out his address. Find out that Mitch guy address, okay? He's a funny guy. He want to say Ukraine. He don't have no respect for our country, okay? I don't know if y'all heard, but nah, I'm going to leave that alone. I'm going to leave that alone. Mike up there talking about those headbutts had him looking like a monster. My kids are afraid of me. Mike has some of the greatest quotes in boxing. Yeah. Remember, my back is broken. At Jim Gray. So what do you mean, Mike? Your back is broken. Spinal. Say that again. So you saying your back is it's spinal? My back is broken. Spinal. Goddamn, Mike. If I was to go into the hot box, right? I'm not a smoker, and I don't give a fuck how many people smoking in there. I ain't smoking no toad. I just want to say, Mike, can I act like I'm Jim Gray and just ask you that classic? You know what I'm saying? So what went on in this fight? The way you looking and everything, was it something that you had a pre-injury or whatever, Mike? My back was broken. I went to the doctor and he said my back was broken. I mean, what do you mean, Mike? Jim Gray, he gets down like a preacher. What do you mean? You ain't making no sense, Mike. I mean, what are you saying? Spinal. Mike Tyson, man, god damn, he does have some classic one-liners, dog. Back is broken. I broke my back. What do you mean, Mike? You just fought. Spinal. What kind of injury was it, Mike? Spinal. I'm serious, man. Mike, man, he's that dude. Hold on for a quick minute. Yeah, I'm back. I think one point that I missed was the fact that when Crawford's name was mentioned, Jermall Charlo said he's a natural. He also underlined that Crawford was stronger than people think. Like, he's a strong dude. I said that a while ago. Crawford's into that wrestling. He's a different type of dude in there. You know what I'm saying? Wrestling helps out a lot with fighting on the inside, positioning, and stuff like that. And Charlo gave him, gave Crawford respect. Much different than what we was hearing from little bro Mell Charlo, because Mell was up there talking about some civility shit, some passive aggressive shit. He was up there saying something like, you should shut the F up, humble yourself, take lower pay, and be the challenger sometime. That seems like some shit that we totally against, especially as black people. Like, if I don't have to do what you telling me, I'm not gonna do it, especially in that situation. You're basically saying, shut up and dribble. He's talking about be the challenger sometime. Of course they the challenger. Of course. Just because you're the challenger don't have to mean you have to go up here and take less money and deprive your family of food. In one setting, Mell Charlo is talking about feeding family, this, that, and the other. And then the other breath, he's pretty much telling him to just take the money and fight. Humble yourself. What does humble got to do with negotiation? In that scenario, what does it have to do? We have two individuals. I don't know. I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't know what's going on with the overlooking of the individuals that's over there reporting on the Texas fighters. Like, first of all, Errol Spence is from Long Island. Second of all, the Charlos is from Louisiana. First and second of all, you know what I'm saying? That's first and second of all. I was born and raised where I'm at. I understand they're rocking with them hard, but they don't hold them accountable. Like, you're pretty much saying that you should humble yourself. We don't want the little boy coming up. Well, they weren't saying the little boy shit about Canelo. Canelo's sitting up here driving, doing what the fuck he want to do, blowing through red lights. You know what I'm saying? Not giving a damn about anything except his paycheck. Got world-class thoroughbred horses and shit. Hey, don't you want somebody else to? What if Crawford has those desires to do that? In order for him to be that, he want to go up here and challenge you, Mell Charlo. That's what I see in Terrence Crawford. He's trying to make moves. He knows he's getting older, and he wants to go up there and not only make a paycheck, but further solidify his legacy. I don't see anything wrong with that. And for Mell Charlo to criticize what he's trying to do because you have a stablemate that your brother said he don't have no friends except his brother. I wonder how Mell feels about that. Because why isn't Mell training full time in the same stable of Errol Spence? Mike said a prayer and asked the reporter what out of disgust. Dan didn't answer any of his questions. Went on a rant about Lennox Lewis. Lennox, I'm coming for you. Yeah, when it comes to Mike Tyson, I say this all time and time again. The comments that he made was memorable for the wrong reasons. You know what I'm saying? He talking about he want to eat people's kids and shit like that. I mean, that's Tyson, man. Now it's a privilege for people to be able to come on Tyson's hot boxing and talk to him, knowing this dude is a lunatic. He's a smart lunatic because obviously his grow house over there in Cali is grossing mad money a month. The numbers are insane over there. Being that weed is legal, his grow farm, his grow house is doing incredible numbers over there, man. I don't know the deal with I think it was Paul Pierce who said that Roy didn't pay him his money. I heard it was Triller per se. But Mike Tyson Mike didn't talk on it too much. And then Pierce said some amazing shit that I'm gonna talk to Roy about. I promise you this. Pierce said, "Do you want me?" Once again, Pierce said, "Do you want me to get my boys?" We're talking about Roy Jones now. Like, Roy Jones isn't known for pulling up on Fat Joe back in the day. Paul Pierce said, "Do you want me to get my boys?" And he reiterated that, "Hey, Mike, you know it can happen. You want me to get my what?" See, as my people, you have to sometimes separate yourself from an issue that's not any of your responsibility. You have to let the shit go. It's plenty of us that's incarcerated for shit that wasn't what we was being held accountable for. We took it upon ourselves to place ourselves, to place yourself in a situation what got you in trouble. You want to prove something. Pierce saying, "Do you want me to get my boys?" I don't know what you mean by that, Pierce, and I'm gonna ask the champ, because what the fuck are you talking about? Now all of a sudden, you the granddaughter? No, you the done daughter? You walking around here like you the mob, and you gonna pull up on Roy? Let me know how that feel. Cause you know what? He I'm gonna put this video out that I haven't even put out of Roy Jones letting his hands go. I haven't even put this video out. I think I'm gonna put that video out tonight. This is not too long ago when I was with Team Williams and we was out on the deployment for a fight, and Roy Jones is in the back putting his hands on somebody. I think I'm gonna put that. I might put it out on YouTube first and then IG. It all depends. But Roy still got some hands, dog. We seen that when he fought Mike Tyson. What the fuck is Paul Pierce talking about? I'm gonna call my boy up too. I'm gonna ask him right after this. I'm gonna say, "Did you hear what Paul said? That he brought up that Roy didn't give Mike his money, and do you want me to, call my boys? Do you know who the fuck you dealing with? I done seen Roy at his good. I done seen Roy at his bad. Believe me, I'm not bullshitting you. I seen when he wasn't fucking talking to nobody, he was mad, and I seen him in his good time." Spinal. Man, that's just crazy, bro. I don't know what the fuck he was on. Real talk. I don't know what the fuck Pierce. Well, we're gonna get to the bottom of this. Real talk. We're gonna get to the bottom. But let me get to my boxing shit, man. How many of y'all going for Terrell Goucher, man? I'm going for Terrell Goucher. I really want to see him, get another important win. If he goes in there and defeat Tim Tszyu, that exactly what it's gonna be, man. I want to see Terrell Goucher, man, shine in this motherfucker, dog. He's fighting a guy that has a lot of energy and steam behind him, and people, he has his father's name behind him, and this is gonna be a good fight for Goucher. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to use this because I like Jamonte Clark, man. Cool cat. Shout out to Cincy, man. Shout out to Cincinnati. But Goucher, he goes in there and look like he did against Jamonte Clark. Man, his career's changed. His career's changed levels, real talk. Edgar Berlanga, being that he was dropped in his last fight, he has a lot. Like, Edgar Berlanga has a lot of people who support him, man, and fuck with him. I'm talking about celebrities, all that. When you have that many people that's in your circle, you can't go ahead and continue to face adversity the way you did. So you have to go ahead against Steve Rose and look very, very good, especially where you fighting them at the MSG. You got to look good there, Edgar. Shout out to the monster, man. Shout out to Steve Rose. You have to look good there, Edgar. You have a lot of people watching you, man. I think I mentioned this before about Katie Taylor and Amanda Serrano. Shout out to Amanda Serrano for really, she's obviously signed with MVP Promotions, right? And she sent the motherfucking calling card out to Katie Taylor. She said, "Hey, I've been training, you've been training. Let's go 3 rounds. Let's go 3 minutes per round, 12 rounds. Let's do what the guys are doing." And Katie Taylor, who was gifted a fight, Katie Taylor didn't want to hear no parts of that. Amanda Serrano said, let's go 3 minutes per round, 12 rounds for our championship fight. Taylor wasn't trying to hear none of that shit. But yet we have women boxers out here. They want to get paid more. They want all the dang accolades as the men do. But you can't get that fight in 2-minute rounds and maxing out at 10. So I got to give Amanda Serrano her salute. 7-weight world champion. You know, she's on the high right now, signed with Jake Paul. And she's trying to do big things. I don't know what Katie Taylor's thinking. This would have been a good time to show out. You know what I'm saying? This would have been a good time to be the pioneers, the trendsetters, to go in there and fight 12 rounds in the championship fight in 3 minutes per round. And my last, I don't know what y'all think, right? But I'm going for Goucher. He ain't going to win, though. Man, you don't think he's going to beat Tim Tszyu? He might have that night, dog. The Boxing King Archives on deck, man. Salute to you. Welcome back. I just caught you on the play. I fell behind. I heard Usyk had on them Hermit the Monster shoes. Yeah, man, he did, man. Them joints look like a one stumper. For real, one stumping you out. For real, steel toes ain't got nothing on those boots. If Usyk is over there right now on the front lines with those boots on, I can almost guarantee you he kicking motherfuckers and they dying right away. I'm not even trying to be fun. I think he kicking motherfuckers in the knee, they dying right away. Them boots he had on ain't no joke. Blair Cobbs making a lot of noise. Will they insert him into the equation of fighting Michael McKinson for the main event? It will be good. I hope Blair understands that if he indeed get this fight, he needs to win. He can't go in there bullshitting. It can't be no ifs, ands, or buts. Blair Cobbs has to go in here and make this shit pop. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. They give him the third-rated guy in the WBO. Blair, not even rated. You have to go in there and win, bro. If you do not win this fight, not even that. We know you got a fight coming up. You already have an opponent. But I'm saying if they give you McKinson, come on, man. You go in there and win that. You in the top 10. You're in the top 10. I can't say they're gonna put you in the top 5 because Sandor Martin defeated Mikey Garcia and they threw him at number 5. You know what I'm saying? McKinson was 5. They moved McKinson up to 3 or something to that nature. You know what I'm saying? I don't know how they was shifting and moving, but Sandor Martin, in my opinion, he fought the bigger name. And they still didn't put him in front of McKinson. That's just my opinion. But shout out to Blair Cobbs, man. Hope you get the big fight. I know you're out there talking your talk. Now, you know, the fans want to see you walk your walk. They want to see you go in there and get the victory so they can really start cheering you on, bro. Yeah. Yeah, that's what I'm hearing, but I thought, you know, maybe they can switch it up. It'll be a good fight. It'll be a really good last-minute step up for Blair for him to show out if he can. But McKinson's no joke. You know, McKinson, he ain't no joke, man. Estrada versus Esparza went 3-minute rounds. Where was that fight at? I'm talking about the trendsetters as far as changing it, though. Like the magnitude of this fight, though. The magnitude of this fight with the names Katie Taylor and Amanda Serrano can change it permanently, possibly. You want to be the trendsetters to do that, the trendsetters to do that shit. You want to be the ones that, okay, ran a championship fight 3 minutes per round all the way to 12 rounds. You know what I'm saying? But Katie Taylor didn't want to hear that shit. Shout out to my boy Showtime Shaw in the building. He's on the grounds over there in NYC for fight night at Madison Square Garden, man. Salute to the Underground King himself. You know what I'm saying? The Sauce Talk in the building. Be sure you sub to his channel, man. If you got your link in there, drop your link in there, Showtime, so they can start, tuning in to you. But he's over there with Team Jahad Tucker. They on deck. Make it pop. Listen to the Sauce Talk, man. He said McKinson is fighting some inactive Latino guy. Yeah. Blair bout to F around and lose Rocha. They're not giving him the McKinson fight for a reason. Yeah. He needs to go in there and look good against Rocha. No, don't get dropped anything like that. You got to go in there and perform and then put on a damn post fight to remember there, Blair. Go in there, get Roach out of there, and then perform on the post fight. You know what I'm saying? But I want to see him get that McKinson fight at last minute notice and see what he got. I mean, Blair the Flair is pretty old. You know what I'm saying? Spence called him. Spence called him a prospect. You know what I'm saying? I mean, he made sense though. I can't lie. He called him like a 33-year-old prospect. You know what I'm saying? Well, he's 32 years old. I mean, it makes sense either way. I don't remember Superbad versus Esparza being 3 minutes. I don't remember, them going 3 minutes just yet, but what I do remember is Amanda Serrano putting Katie Taylor on the spot and say, let's do 3-minute rounds for 12 rounds for the fight. Let's give the people what they want to see. And Katie Taylor like, no, you're doing too much, man. However she sound. Yeah. That's where I'm at with it, man. That's all I got for this. Real talk. Unless you got any more info, I'll drop the link for a minute. I just want to see if Showtime have any news from being on site on the grounds over there in NYC, man. There go the link. J Ocho on deck, man. I see you. What's good? Hold on for a second.